Yes. I tell you, they don't need the beauty. A new form, a new fresh. Please, here with me. It's gonna be loud tonight. All right, people, let's go this way. Let's move this thing forward. Let's go. You don't need the building. All right, yes. All right, back again, people. Smash the like on the video. We are here, all set. We're set for this big game. I tell you, welcoming everybody onto this show. Wherever you're watching from, what are you waiting for? Smash the like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. I'm telling you, it's going to be a knockout chaos going on right there tomorrow at the Riyadh. TBS is telling me, bring me on. TBS, what's going on, bro? I'm ready. Are you
This
doing?
is the best time right now to be a boxing fan. Knockout chaos. Go. It's gonna be fire, man.
I tell you, you're welcome to the show. You know, I gotta start like this. TBS, it's gonna be
brother.
Yeah, tell me how you feeling now for tomorrow? How you feeling? Tell me what's wrong, what's going on?
You know, there are so many things that makes the stars align, and you know, there's a way you see the stars align. You know, this is what's going to happen. For them to name a boxing bout knockout chaos, oh my God, what are you expecting, man? What are you expecting? It's going to be fire for fire. I mean, the ambulance should be in the ring tomorrow. We need to kill the fire. It's good. I'm so excited right now. So excited.
All right, with this, I'm going to bring on this big man as well too. He is ready for me. I am telling you, he's told me. He said he's ready. Bring me on. Let's do it. Let's go. Hey, what's going on, bro? You're welcome to the show. You have to mute your mic.
Sorry, apologies.
All right.
Good evening, everybody.
All right.
It's good to be on the show to talk boxing. TBS, what's up? How you doing?
What's up, my man? What's happening?
Good.
All right, TBS. And he's in the building. Please smash the like on the video. What are you guys waiting for? Subscribe to this channel. We're about to go down about knockout chaos. Tomorrow's the D-Day. How you feeling? Getting ready, right?
Yeah, getting ready to watch an heavyweight bout between Anthony Joshua and Ngannou. This is Ngannou's second professional fight, and we also what he did against Tyson Fury. I could understand what happened, you know, knocking Tyson Fury down during the bout and Tyson Fury going on to win by unanimous decision. But this is another landscape for him, fighting another, you know, heavyweight boxer, 2 times heavyweight champion of the world in Anthony Joshua, who's been there, done it, you know, fought how many fights? I think he has over 30 fights. He has 30 fights, 27. He has lost 3. 127. So, and out of those 27, how many knockouts? Close to 25 or 24, if I'm not mistaken. So, Anthony Joshua understand the landscape. He understand the heavyweight boxing. Ngannou has always wanted to be a boxer, but for whatever reason, I think it was part of the Olympics guys, part of the boxing team that went to the Olympics. I can't remember which Olympics, but he has been in the boxing background, and I'm sure he has the boxing amateur, and he couldn't make it as a professional. Decided to go the route of UFC. And he conquered in UFC. With all the shenanigans happening in UFC, the political or higgy haga, he decided to come into boxing, and he had his chance against Tyson Fury. He danced with Tyson Fury and he got paid a lot of money. So now he wants to try it again with Anthony Joshua. But right now, no belts on the line. But this is a bout that could possibly shape up the undisputed, because there is a Tyson Fury and Usyk there in the mix. I think in April, thereabouts, or I can't really remember the date, but that's another bout for us to see. So this could be a potential, maybe semi-final, for whoever wins this could meet whoever wins Tyson Fury Usyk. But it's good. Let's talk about it. That's why we're here.
All right, that's why we are here. I'm telling you, people. I'm going to say this. Tibis, according to the you are going for Ngannou, while
I'm backing Ngannou.
Yes, yeah, and Ace is backing AJ. That's Anthony Joshua. I'm not going to start with you, Tibis, about the individual story of Ngannou. Your man,
First off, I mean, when Ace came on, I was almost scared. Like, I thought we were the one that was supposed to fight. See how fit Ace is. I mean, it's just an analysis, man. It's just an analysis. All right, that was on a lighter note, anyways. One thing about boxing or combat sports in general is there's always a story behind every boxer, and you rarely find a boxer who wanted to be a boxer. You rarely find an MMA fighter who wanted to be an MMA fighter. It's always been they were into drugs, they were into vices, they had problems they were dealing with, and it forced them to take it out on boxing, and they found out that they were good at it. But this is the first time, or one of the very few stories, where you have someone who has always wanted to be a boxer, and he has another background story to also back it up. So He has the story, he has the will. We add both of them together, it makes for a tantalizing prospect. So if you look at his story from Cameroon, although illegally he tried to sail across the ocean, the sea, to get to Europe to make ends meet for himself, he finally got himself into Europe. And you know what I mean by sailing across the ocean. You know how many times the waves must have thrown them up, how many times they must have gone without food. And he found himself in Paris. And just to correct a bit of what he said, it is not that he didn't make it as an amateur boxer. The gym he found himself in Paris, the coach only volunteered to teach him MMA, and that's the fighter in Ngannou. He didn't want to pass up the opportunity of having something to survive on. I mean, if he didn't fight, he wasn't going to eat anyways. So I mean, if you want me to be an MMA fighter, let's bring it on. And that's why he forced himself into MMA. And if you look at his story, lost only one fight in MMA, and when he came back, you could pity the guy. He brutalized the guy. And he had a similar story to AJ in the sense that when he lost his first fight, he came back to Cameroon. He went back to his roots. He looked at where he grew up from, the site he worked as a bricklayer, the site he worked as a refuse man. He brought in the whole story back in himself, went back into UFC and, defeated the guy. The part of Ngannou that attracts me, it has never been done in MMA or UFC history, that somebody turns down a deal and goes into free agency. It takes balls to do that, man. And Ngannou willingly turned down the contract and says he wants to go for fresh waters. And here is he whining. When you want to swim, you don't go into the deep end. You start from yeah. But this man is saying, nah, I want to go straight into the deep end. It takes balls, man. It takes balls. And Ngannou is here to fight it with the big boys.
All right. A little bit of individual story is about your main man, Anthony Joshua. Please tell me something.
I think it's out there. Everybody knows about it a little bit. Like T-Beat said, he was into drugs. Like Anthony Joshua always keeps saying it. He was into drugs, selling drugs, going up and down. Growing up in London, born in Nigeria, migrated to London, and he decided to pick a sport out of. He decided to learn boxing, and he took boxing. He wanted to do a sport, but he preferred boxing, so he decided to go the route of boxing. Joined the British team that went to European Championship. Then from there, graduated going into the Olympics in 2012, where it was hosted in Great Britain. And before then, he had won a bit of amateur matches, and I think that Olympics was the one that paved the way for him, where he won the gold, despite being dominated by, I don't know if it's Otto Wallin, can't really remember, that he fought the Olympic final, the heavyweight final with in 2012. And after then, he got a professional contract with Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn bought him up, and there he paved the way. And we all know Anthony Joshua seems to be the one that has paved the way in terms of boxing in UK and also in the world, with how he started with his professional fights. You know, at professional fight 8 or 7, he went for the IBF against Charles Martin. Charles Martin, who was meant to be dogged as the most vicious, you know, with his left hook, and he took him out with just one or two punch, and he knocked him out. Got the IBF from there. The bout against Klitschko, I think that was where he learned his lesson. Klitschko really gave him the lesson of his life, but he was able to dig deep and go for it. Defeated Klitschko, and then he went on and on. When Joseph Parker fought him, took the belt. He was picking the belt. He looked like Thanos in the favorite movie, picking up the belts, picking up the stones one after the other. Not until the proverbial match against him and Deontay Wilder that politics got into it, which is unlike the MMA, whereby you see two fighters, they can fight each other 3 or 4 times within the space of 2 years or 3 years, but we don't see that in boxing. The boxing bout we all wanted to see back then was Anthony Joshua versus Wilder, but for whatever reason, politics and all that, it couldn't happen. We didn't see it surface until he fought Andy Ruiz, and we all know what happened. He lost against Andy Ruiz, fought him again, the redemption, won his belt back, and the rest is history. But the both of them have similar, not kind of similar, but most of them have a bit of background stories that is kind of similar. And both of them are from Africa. They're brothers, Nigeria, Cameroon. But it's just that Anthony Joshua, everything he has done has never, he has always been criticized, despite the work he has put into the heavyweight boxing, despite how he has made heavyweight boxing attractable in terms of making money. He has filled stadiums, O2 Arena in England, the Wembley Stadium. He has gone to so many places, the Madison Square Garden. He has always made arenas get filled up when it comes to fights. But, you know, he doesn't get that respect. Even in preparation for his last fight against Otto Wallin, a lot of people criticized him. His AJ back, the AJ that lost against Ruiz, he's no more there, the vicious AJ. And we can see little by little he's getting his stride back. But like I said, this matchup against Ngannou is a big test. Who knows? We don't know what is there for the taking. But the individual story, like I said, everybody knows it. AJ has been the one that has come from the ground bottom zero up to the top, and he has been there. I give him credit. So that's just a bit of the individual story I know about AJ.
All right, thank you so much. Moving on to the next one before we wrap up the show. Coach's advantages. I'm going to start with you, TVs. Your main man.
You remember the mega fight then between Manny Pacquiao and then Floyd Mayweather. The coach who took Manny Pacquiao into the fight was Dewey Cooper, and it's still the same Dewey Cooper now that is the one bringing Ngannou into this fight. So talk about experience there. This is an experienced trainer who has been there over the years. And you know, one important thing in boxing, unlike every other sport, is you need the connection between the trainer and the boxer. So there is a synergy between both of them, because he was his coach in MMA, now also coaching him again in boxing. So he knows how to understand his man. He knows how to bring out the tools in his man. And if you saw the Tyson Fury fight, which I'm very sure that Ngannou won't make the same mistake this time around against Joshua, is Cooper, in all of his experience, wanted to show his tactical acumen that his fighter can also box, which is one marvelous sight nobody expected from Ngannou, that he could actually punch. But the experience was always going to tell. Fury is a seasoned boxer. This is his first fight as a boxer. So if they make that same mistake again, it can go pretty rough. But I expect them that they won't make the same mistake they made earlier. But you can see that the advantage of the trainer is there for Ngannou. It's not like he's going to look for a fresh trainer now, where they have to first look for synergy, where they have to first look for if they believe in the same thing. If you look at the AJ story now, he first had to work with, what's the name of this guy, Manny something, this Spanish guy, who took him into the Usyk 2 fight, and you could see that it wasn't just AJ. It didn't just click. It was until he met Derrick James that we can say, well, they were beginning to find some certain level of understanding. But I'll leave that to his. But I'm just trying to make a point that it is very important for the boxer and the trainer to understand each other. In football or any other sport, it is more about the tactical knowledge of the coach. But in boxing, the most important thing in boxing is the understanding of each other. If you look at Deontay Wilder, for instance, now, his trainer is not someone who has experience. Malik Scott is just a nobody in training. But the fact that both of them are friends and best friends, they could work together easily. Yeah, so Dewey Cooper is a nice one for Ngannou. And just to add it on top, going into the Fury fight, Mike Tyson also trained Ngannou going into the Fury fight. So he has he has gotten knowledge here and there to go and fight Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, well, it is a little bit of AJ. I was told, or I heard about it, changing coach or something. How true is that?
Yeah. Ever since that Ruiz loss, the first Ruiz, he kept it knitted with his coaches that started with him from the amateurs. I've forgotten his name now. His name failed me. The British guy. He kept it till it went pro. And ever since that loss against Andy Ruiz, I think everything just went south. So he decided to do a soul searching period for him, where he looked at the mistakes he has made. He looked at how he can improve. And AJ is the type of fighter that would always want to improve. He would always want to see where he has gone wrong, the things he needs to do right. And that bout against Ruiz, the AJ Ruiz won, was that tipping moment for AJ where he decided to say, okay, I'm not going to down tools. I'm just going to take everything, break it down, and rearrange it up. Ever since then, he worked with Robert Garcia. That's the name Tibit was trying to remember, the Spanish guy. And we saw that it wasn't the AJ, the style that was not the AJ we wanted. And he went with Derrick James. Derrick James, 2 bouts with Derrick James. I think the fight against the Bulgarian guy, Pulev, and the fight against, I hope my stats have been right, and the fight against the American guy, Jimmy Franklin. I don't know his first name. But ever since then, decided to let Derrick James go. And now he's with Ben Davison, the guy the former manager, the former coach of Tyson Fury. I know a lot of people will criticize him that why is he doing that? Are you going to form, like Tibit said, the naysayers will come with synergy with the manager, synergy with the coach, because that's what determines your performance within the ring when it comes to that night where the bell dings. But the thing about Anthony Joshua, he has a plan. Like his manager, his promoter will always say at the end, he loves to tinker. He's a guy that loves to tinker a bit. He loves to tinker that much with whatever he has. And that fight against against Usyk, where he second-guessed himself, I think that was another tipping point, because the first fight against Usyk, he didn't know anything about who Usyk was. He just took the challenge because he needed to grab all the belts. And moments into going into the ring, AJ was asking, who is this guy? Who is this guy? Who is this Usyk guy? And the moment you second guess yourself in boxing, it goes awkward for you. And the rest is history. We saw how Usyk defeated him in that first bout. The second bout, though, is here not there, because I know AJ gave a good performance against a pound-for-pound fighter, which he lost by unanimous decision. Ever since then, he decided to chop and change again. Now it's with Ben Davison. The first bout he managed or coached him was against Otto Wallin in his last match. And we saw how the AJ that we knew is coming back little by little, going back to the basics, keeping it simple, doing all the shuffles, turn, don't stay static and let your hands go. Counter punch here and there. And we saw how he destabilized and destroyed Otto Wallin. So from the manager's perspective, I think AJ is good. AJ is good. He has a good coach that is managing him, and we'll see the best out of AJ come fight night tomorrow.
All right. Let's quickly move on to this one. I'm going to talk the technicality of this game about Ngannou, Francis Ngannou. How can you describe his technicality going into this game?
I think first off, one of the advantages that every fighter will have over Anthony Joshua is that Anthony Joshua, like at the end said, likes to tinker. And as a boxer, that's your greatest problem. And that's one thing Ben Davidson has been able to bring out of Anthony Joshua. Bro, you have a right hand, solid right hand. Why are you messing yourself up? Why are you trying to box? Go set up your right hand properly and land it. And that's game over. It's heavyweight boxing. That is one of the reasons why people always say Wilder is not a good boxer. But you know that you can beat Wilder for 11 out of 12 rounds. But if he lands that lucky round,
Now, Logan,
no matter the score you have been building up, it doesn't matter. It's heavyweight
It's an
boxing.
equalizer.
So
equalizer.
You get my point. So I mean, that's one advantage Ngannou is going to have. Because of one of the reasons why people hate Anthony Joshua is because his rise in boxing was too fast. It was unprecedented. You have most boxers having about 300 amateur fights. Anthony Joshua barely had 100. So he didn't have the wealth of experience to draw on. That's why I think one fight that changed the landscape for Anthony Joshua was the Klitschko fight. I tell people if he had lost that fight, he would have found within himself more levels to go to. But that match gave him a false sense of where he was. Yeah. And that's why you will see against Andy Ruiz, the greatest round 3 fight you'll ever see in boxing. God, that round 3 was what you call proper boxing heavyweight. They went fire for fire. And you could see that AJ didn't want to be there anymore. Like, he saw too much fire and he was like, nah, I quit. That's one of the problems people have with AJ. Can this guy take on a punch? Can this guy dig deep? You understand? The second fight with Ruiz didn't explain to us if he can dig deep. He only explained to us that he had other weapon in his arsenal. That's all it explained to us. Because if you see, he did the classic Floyd Mayweather, the sweet science of boxing, eat and don't get it. That's what if you remember, I mean, one of the reasons why I always remember the fight was the last round. Andy Ruiz was begging for his life. Come now, let's fight. But Joshua just kept on going around. He didn't care because he knew that all he wanted to do was count points. And that was what took him to the Usyk fight. And like I said, that was his mistake. You can't go and fight a pound-for-pound boxer with your boxing skills when that's not even your forte. So technicality, that's why I said the problem I had with the Fury fight was, even if it was good for us to know that Ngannou also has it in his arsenal to box, but you can't box Fury, who is also a pound-for-pound fighter. You can't box Fury with that style. That's his style. That's Fury's style. He's evasive. Fury can fight 3 different styles, but his most dominant style is the evasiveness. And he got that from Ben Davidson. You understand me? Like, he knows how to eat and stay out of range. In fact, it was so bad that he had to link up with Sugar Ray, because Sugar Ray wanted to teach him how to knock out. It was knockout he got from Sugar Ray. That's the cousin of the Kronk. If you know, in boxing, if you talk about Kronk, that's the home of knockouts, man. The home of knockouts. So I'm begging Ngannou this time around. I know you can box, but I don't care at the moment. All I need from you is set up your jabs, and land the right, and it's game over.
I tell you, all right, moving on to the technicality of AJ. Talk to me, East. What?
Man, I like the analysis of tidbits. But you know, like Mike Tyson will always say, you can always have a plan going into a boxing match. But when you go in there and you get hit, all your plans goes out the window. So for me, it's the record, like the tail of tape. Let me just go through the tail of tape. If you look at AJ is 34, Ngannou is 37, AJ is 6'6", Ngannou is 6'4", and the reach of AJ is 82, and wide that of Ngannou is 83. So that's a little bit of advantage Ngannou has in terms of reach. And AJ, I think the weigh-in will be tonight, or if it has not happened. But as at AJ's last fight, it was 251 pounds, and Ngannou was 272 pounds. So Ngannou is higher, is heavier in terms of heavyweight. And we heard his manager in the press conference yesterday, or his coach in his press conference, that's Ngannou's coach, saying he struggled to do 10 rounds. So if you look at the technicality, AJ is a solid boxer. Yes, Ngannou, give him the respect. He has the background of boxing. He understands boxing as an amateur. But was he a professional in boxing? No. And looking at the bouts AJ has had, 30 bouts already, he understands the nook and cranny of boxing. He knows where he needs to, make it hot, and he knows where he needs to calm down a bit. So in terms of technicality, if AJ takes the initiative, AJ understands he's been here, he's done it. First thing he needs to do is to take the initiative over Ngannou. Set the pace with your jabs. Set your pace with the counter punches. Because if Ngannou tries to come, and AJ is a good counter puncher, like we all know. He knows how to counter punch very well. He knows how to move his feet. Ngannou, if you look at him, the MMA style might not suit him. Him trying to adjust to boxing might be quite difficult, but he surprised everybody in his bout against Fury, where he took it like, this is not new to me. This is like an everyday thing. I can do this all day, 2 times on a Sunday. But in terms of technicality, I think AJ is more sounded. And if AJ keeps it simple, don't rush it. Don't be too carried away with the moment like he did in that first Reese fight. After he knocked, like Tibet said, that's the best round 3 you'd ever see in boxing ever. He knocked Reese down. I think he got carried away with his whole emotion. Felt okay, this is the time I need to kill this guy, and that overhead punch came in and took AJ's brains out. There was a funny video back then that saw AJ's spirit left the ring, took his box, and went straight to the plane. Scrambled AJ. And AJ needs to understand that the person you're fighting with is the person that knows how to throw bombs. He knows how to throw those heavy punches. So he has to be careful, keeping it simple. And also, like I said, the hard counters. Because Ngannou would want to also show, the tricky thing about this is, Ngannou would want to show the world that he is a good boxer. The first bout against Fury, though Fury defeated me based on points, but I want to show the whole world. So I hope he doesn't get carried away with the whole event. And that might be his undoing, with AJ counter punching him.
All right, quick one. Let's move on to this one. The decision. Is it going to be? I'm going to ask you, TVs. Do you think this game or this match is going to end in a knockout or the other way? I'm talking about decision. What do you think this match is going to go to?
First off, I understand where he is coming from, but for the love of the sport of boxing, especially in the heavyweight division, please, Anthony Joshua, don't slow down. Let's fight fire for fire. This is in heavyweight.
That's a trap. That's a trap. You're setting a trap for Anthony Joshua.
It is not middleweight. It is not welterweight. It is not cruiserweight. It is heavyweight boxing. What have you come to see? You've come to see knockout. I hate it when heavyweight boxers are trying to hide behind the jab. I mean, I didn't pay box of money to come and watch you tell me that you are Floyd Mayweather. Nah, heavyweight boxing is about how you can knock your opponent out. So I want to see a knockout. Because Dewey Cooper said something, and I love the fact that Ben Davison replied in his own interview. So I hope that Dewey Cooper heard what Ben Davison said. They've been mentioning Ngannou's conditioning for a while now. I hope they are not planning to do a 10-rounder. It will not. You can't outbox Anthony Joshua. Is his forte. He has been there for so long. So this idea of conditioning, I think that should not be the language right now. Ben Davison had to say he knows in his heart of heart that they are not planning to go 10 rounds with Anthony Joshua. Now, what I want him to do is what Fury said. Fury said when he landed the first punch, he had to respect Ngannou. That's why people are saying that you've got power. If you have power, why are you whining yourself with why are you doing all of this? Why are you wasting my time? I mean, we don't need all of those. Just like he said, all I need from you is steady your jabs. And one thing about Anthony Joshua, like I said, is he has not proven to us yet that he has the mental fortitude. If you look at the trilogy between Wilder and Fury, that's the best way to fight somebody that is evasive. Land body shots, and you could see that sorry to cut you there. That was a one-sided bout. The 3 bouts was one-sided. You know where I'm going to. This is where I'm going to. If he was another fighter, that match would have ended pretty early. It was the same style that Deontay Wilder tried to beat Fury with, that Anthony Joshua beat Wilder with. Do you know that? He just a southpaw. You break them down with your body, and Wallin kept feeling the effect of the body shot. So he made him respect Anthony Joshua. If I go in too early, he clips with another body shot. he keeps wearing him down. And that's the same thing Fury eventually did for Ngannou. Fury knew I can't box on the inside with this guy. He has got power. And if you hear all of Fury's interview, he keeps saying that his mind wants to side a boxer, but he prays that they don't overlook the power that Ngannou has. So for the love of God, I keep saying, I don't know if the recruiter is going to see this interview again. I don't want to hear anything about conditioning. This is not a match to go 10 rounds with Anthony Joshua. You will not beat him at that game. Anthony Joshua is not even a 10-rounder. That's even a disadvantage. Anthony Joshua is a 12-rounder. I mean, that's his forte. He is built to fight 12 rounds. And you even want to fight a 10 round. It means you're even giving him more strength. So please, the first round, what I expect from him is establish your power. Even if you miss, there's a way a shot goes through your face. You'll be like, oh, you know, like you respect that. Yes, okay. That's why Fury said, and in his interview, and I love his honesty, Fury said, I don't want to care about my preparation for that fight, but what I cared about was when the first punch landed, I knew I had to respect him. And with Anthony Joshua, who I still think he has his mentality is fragile. I think within the first round, if you show your power, then maybe that fight can be what we expect it to be. Although it's a trap, like he said, it's a trap. But I'm Ngannou, so I expect him to fight with power. But if I'm Anthony Joshua, if he comes trying to punch, the ring IQ will not be very important. But he doesn't have it. That's another advantage. Anthony Joshua doesn't have the ring IQ like a Usyk, like a Fury, who wants to dance around, blah, 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 and all of those. So it's going to be an interesting fight. But please, one last time before I pass it to you, Dewey Cooper, I don't want to hear conditioning. Punch.
Yeah. All right, Ace, on this one, is it going to be a decision or a knockout?
Let me just touch on a bit of what T-Bit said. Anthony Joshua does not have ring IQ. Anthony Joshua has a lot of ring IQ. For a heavyweight boxer, he has that ring IQ. He knows how to cut the ring shot. And I think what they would be doing here in terms of tactics is to, it's going to be a bucket fight. Close the gap between, let's just shorten the distance between him and Ngannou so that Ngannou won't be able to, throw those power bombs or throw those shots. And I guess that's, like I said, taking the initiative. Anthony Joshua understands. He's been here. He's done it. He would want to take the initiative, stamp the authority. And one thing you guys should understand, Anthony Joshua is not Tyson Fury. Anthony Joshua hits hard than Tyson Fury. And looking at both of them in the press conference where they stood, face-to-face yesterday, looking at the body composition of both of them, I know Ngannou is on the bigger side, but looking at both each other's arms, Anthony Joshua has bigger arms in terms of bigger biceps. And Anthony Joshua lands well. He lands well. And I see this. It's going to be a knockout for Anthony Joshua. Because, Ngannou, I'm sure, he felt Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury doesn't hit hard like Anthony Joshua. And another thing people need to understand is there is something Anthony Joshua is eyeing. He has something that is burning. He has something that is pushing him to achieve it. He wants to be the 3-time world champion of the world. He's eyeing. He wants that bout. Even as he tried to downplay that talk in the press conference, he didn't want anybody to bring up, okay, what's your next fight? Are you looking at the Tyson Fury Usyk fight? He downplayed it immediately. But in the back of his mind, he has that intention. He has that goal. And this is a good stepping stone for him to be able to show the world. Tyson Fury will be seated there. He'll be in the front seat at the bout. Tomorrow he'll be there. Yeah. So it's another opportunity for Anthony Joshua to show that he is the best heavyweight in the world. And I see this ending as a knockout, possibly. A knockout
for Anthony Joshua. Oh my goodness. All right, moving on to the last one. We want to make this prediction. It's going to be a battle between Anthony Joshua, of course, which he is supporting, and also Francis Ngannou, which T-Bit is supporting. So let's make the prediction. Now, T-Bit, I'm going to start with you again. Let's talk. Talk to me about who's going to win tomorrow.
Like I already said, anything beyond 5 rounds, Anthony Joshua wins easily for me. So I predict if Ngannou has to win, it has to be early knockout. So Within round 1 to 3, Ngannou knockout. Within 4 to 5, Ngannou knockout. Between 5 to 10, Ngannou wins by decision.
All right.
You guys,
you like on the video for TV. It's going for this killer instinct. From
a lot of people underestimate Anthony Joshua. A lot of people underestimate Anthony Joshua. They don't know the power that guy has. They don't know the power that guy has, and he's going to show the world tomorrow. And it's going to be a statement win. Like, he's going to break Ngannou down. He's going to show Ngannou who is the boss. You know, I wouldn't want him to rush in there and, you know, quickly do the knockout. No, like the fight he had in the past with this guy, the Spanish guy that gave Deontay Wilder a tough time. I'm trying to remember his name. That Anthony Joshua broke down and gave him the beating of his life.
Is it Dominic Molina?
Molina and Dominic Brazil. You know, Molina gave Deontay Wilder a lot of problem. And when he met Anthony Joshua, you saw how Anthony Joshua broke him down and gave him the beating of his life. Knocked him out in the 3rd round. So it's not as if Anthony Joshua does not have the capability to go for that fast knockout. But I want him to, you know, break Ngannou down and knock him out. And that's what I predict. It's going to go into 6 or 7 rounds, and that will be AJ's knockout.
Let me
quickly read this from Margaret. It says, I don't know why my heart is saying giddy bang bang to Ngannou will win, in as much as I want Edge supports AJ, but something keeps drawing me towards Ngannou. Why?
Because knows that upset is very, very common in boxing.
That's the underdog story. That's the underdog story. You know, a lot of people love the underdog.
See, let me tell you how it happens. I don't mean to be a dreamer, but this is how it happens in boxing. Yeah. Look at let me paint this picture. I don't mean to be dramatic, but Anthony Joshua sets up the jab, keeps his distance. Ngannou tries to land a right. Yeah. Then Anthony Joshua counter punches. Now on Anthony Joshua counter punching, he drops his right hand guard. Now Ngannou sees the space, then he goes straight, boom!
Yay!
It's never going to happen that way. Anthony Joshua is a silky boxer. He has his fundamental. He knows. If you look at all the matches he has lost, bar the Ruiz one, which we know it was a overhead shot, and he scrambled him. Look at the 2 bouts he lost against Usyk because he decided to box. Hardly would you see a heavyweight boxer outbox AJ or catch AJ unaware. Even when they have that pocket fight, when he closes the distance, the slightest that has come close was his rival, the British rival. What was his name? The British rival, the Wolf. What's that his name again? I'm trying to remember his name. That he had the British fight where
Dillian White, yeah. I think that was the only time that has come close to someone rocking AJ, a heavyweight boxer rocking AJ, because then it was brawl. It was because of the beef. Where they took the beef into the ring, and it was all brawling. There was no boxing in that game. If you look at that match, there was no boxing. It was all brawling, and AJ let his hands down, and Dillian White, you know, hit him on the jaw and destabilized AJ, but he got himself back. That is the only time a heavyweight puncher has come close to rocking AJ. And also, Klitschko, we know Klitschko gave him the lesson because Klitschko is a seasoned fighter. Despite that Anthony Joshua was strong and all that, Klitschko taught him the lesson that he learned. So I don't see Anthony Joshua dropping his hands down, trying to go for the knockout. No, Anthony Joshua doesn't want to please anybody. He keeps saying it. I don't want to please anybody.
All right, lastly,
and knock him out.
All right, lastly, before we wrap up the show, please, anywhere you're watching from, please subscribe to our channel, smash the like on the video for this game coming up tomorrow. I want to ask this question, TBs. I'm not yet a boxing loving fan yet, but I think in this game coming up, this Riyadh, I want to start watching boxing right now. Now, there's this question I want to ask, TBs.
All right.
Who is the greatest boxer of all time?
The GOAT. GOAT.
Because I know soccer, which is Messi and Ronaldo. But I want to know the Messi of this game, boxing? Who is the GOAT?
It depends on how you want to define your GOAT. In football, it depends on how if you say talent, you can say Messi, you can say Pele. If you want to say goal scoring, you say Ronaldo. That's why it's always debatable. The reason why most people always go towards Muhammad Ali is because he's the greatest entertainer ever lived in boxing. But in all honesty, in terms of power, in terms of technique and all of those, it's really not Muhammad Ali. I'll still tilt towards the George Foreman, who even won a world title at 40-something. I think George Foreman won.
George Foreman.
It's fine. Yeah. Go and read the story of George Foreman.
Yeah, he came back 45.
He was at 45. He was the one that Ali took to Congo and did the ropa-dopa on. That Ali was just on the rings, and Foreman just kept landing and all. So I'll still pick a Foreman. Then in terms of Google it, you enjoy a story. There's even a movie out there concerning him. And then in terms of the rings, I'd have to tilt towards Lennox Lewis because he is the last on the
Wait, Mike Tyson. What are you saying, guys? Mike Tyson. I think he's the greatest of all time for me.
Nah, Mike Tyson was just Mike Tyson was like this. He had this level to get to, but he didn't get to because of his vices. He was in and out of the prison. He had anger issues, his temperament, and all of. In terms of legacy, Muhammad Ali's legacy is like Mike Tyson would be Even in terms of, because he didn't achieve what is like the Okocha of Nigeria. Okocha had the talent, but he didn't achieve what he was meant to achieve. You understand? If not, Mike Tyson would have been up there. But look at the last undisputed champion now, Lennox Lewis. So I'll still give it to him. So Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, Lennox Lewis. To be within these three people.
All right, yes. What's your own goals in this?
For me, I know I've heard about Muhammad Ali. I didn't watch him live, so I can't really. It's only his tapes that I watch. But I'm just going to stick with the guys that I watch live. The guys that I watch live. Some local Raymond says it's a Klitschko.
Nah.
For me, it's Mike Tyson.
Whoa.
Because I watched Mike Tyson and I saw, despite whatever happened to his career, his personal ambition, all the things that he did, the downside of his life, apart from that. But when you look at boxing at the age of 17, making his professional bout and coming to be the heavyweight champion of the world, it was a story that anybody could really encourage anyone. Even Tyson Fury right now, his dad named him after Mike Tyson. So for me, Mike Tyson. If you look at the heavyweight division, I will pick Mike Tyson. But when you now go into the middleweight, I'll pick this guy, the guy, the sweet science of boxing.
Mayweather.
Floyd Mayweather. Because if you look at it, Floyd Mayweather didn't just concentrate on boxing. It brought another life into boxing, whereby you can do business and make money while boxing. It transcends boxing into another level. In that pound for pound, the middleweight level of boxing. And that's why.
But just to buttress what he is saying, that's why people hate Anthony Joshua, because he's making tons of money because of how he has structured his business. Win or lose, he earns $50 million. And the irony of it is, even Tyson Fury didn't even earn $50 million for beating Ngannou. So he's been, that's why they hate him, because they feel like you just came into boxing and you're selling out arenas and
you just said excellent. So for me, those two, Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather. And Floyd Mayweather, I think he retired unbeaten, even if he still having exhibition fights here and there. So those two, look at what they did. Their story, Mike Tyson, coming out from a rough background, coming out from a rough neighborhood. His background growing up was very, very nothing to write him about, and growing to become the heavyweight champion of the world says a lot. And also Floyd Mayweather, look at how he has transcended boxing. For me, looking at using those contexts, those two, I'm going to pick them toe for toe. Heavyweight boxing, Mike Tyson. The middleweight level, I'll pick Floyd Mayweather Jr.
All right, thank you so much. Please smash the like on the video. This is how far we can go tonight. T-Beats, please tell our viewers what time are we watching the match tomorrow, Friday.
If you're around the UK time, blah blah, you expect to see the fight in the middle of the night, 11, 12, 1 thereabout. But the undercard starts as early as 7 o'clock. But another fight a lot of people are not talking about, and I want you to watch, is Zhang versus Parker. That's a genuine 50-50 fight.
It's going to bang.
Genuine 50-50 fight. So I'm going to be glued to my television as early as 9 o'clock because I must see.
But easy work for Parker. Easy work for Parker.
Don't say that.
Easy work for Parker.
Are you sure?
Easy work for Parker. I have my reasons.
Are getting carried away.
I have my reasons
because of the fight against Wilder. People are getting carried away.
No, apart from that, if you look at this Zhang, or was the Chinese guy? Sorry for murdering his name. He's not the guy that can move. See, was the British guy that he beat the last time twice? Made it easy for him. Parker, Joe Joyce made it very easy for him. It was just an easy target. Southpaw, yes. Southpaw, I know they are very technical. But Southpaw, you can also defeat them if you put your tactics right. And Parker is going to give the Xinjiang or Jingjing or whatever Jingjing is his name. He's going to give him trouble tomorrow because...
Yeah, after the match tomorrow. Yeah, I think on Sunday or on Saturday, yes. We'll be back live again to talk about the review of those games. So,
the most important thing, sorry, Don, let me just end up. The most important thing is I wish all the boxers good health. I wish everybody goes in and comes out alive because boxing is a very dangerous sport and we've seen what it has done to a lot of people. So I wish them the very best. Every fighter going into the ring tomorrow, come out healthy, get your money and spend your money.
But I want to see blood though. I want to see knockout. I wish everybody good health. I wish everybody good health. But I'm a knockout fan, so I need to see the blood, man.
All right, guys, I want to say thank you. TV, one love. Thank you so much. All right. Ace, I want to say
thank you for having me.
All right, bye for now. All right, viewers, tomorrow is going to go down at the Riyadh Stadium tomorrow, Friday. Please smash the like on the video, subscribe to our channel. This is how far I can go tonight. I think we'll be back on Saturday to talk about the review of this game. All right, people, one love. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.